Well, good to be back at NOAH. We're not really an enterprise company, so for those of you that really look along for enterprise presentations, I might have little to offer. Well, I'm here to tell you how we transform from a transaction-oriented company to a subscription-based company, very much with the example of hardware as a service or even heat as a service. But before we go there, because most of you might not be like true, let's say, energy market connoisseurs or experts, let me walk you through kind of like the most important megatrends or architectural changes that we're going through it. And of course, CO2 emissions and CO2 emission reductions is a very current topic. If you look at the elections, European elections, at least in this country, the results, it clearly is underpinning the urgency that we have here. So in the old days, it was all about centralized power plants, and it was really a market of few that had billions, and that's kind of has been changing since kind of like Fukushima and the energy transition, and it's really evolving into a market of millions of homeowners, where user and decision maker is the same person in the 1 and 2 family home space. So the residential layer is really where the capex allocation of the future and of the present is really happening. You know, if you just take our market, capex allocation in our market per annum is way larger. In our current segment, actually, is way larger than in the large power plant space. And you see that with, you know, Siemens and those companies really struggling with the large power plant constructions. So the homeowner will really drive the capex expenditure of the future, and we are their partner. You know, if you in the before Thermondo world, if you take an X-ray of a house in Germany, you would always see, or most kind of always see, a heating system. Now move forward 10 years, and that's kind of like our typical customer relationship that we're creating. You will see that house will have changed a lot. There will almost guaranteed be an e-vehicle standing in front of it, a power charging station to charge it up quickly, a solar thermal system or PV system, smart home, and that's our ambition, to be that kind of partner and caretaker of that homeowner for kind of like everything and anything around energy. And we started with the largest segment. Heat, residential, is a quarter of the primary energy consumption in this country. Also, again, looking from a society point of view, if it's about CO2 reduction, we have done very little in this segment as a society, very much focused on the industrial space, very much focused on the power generation space. But also microeconomically, 80% of the energy consumption of a household is on heat in Germany. It's a large segment, and it's extremely fragmented. You know, it's embedded and rooted in the culture of das Handwerk. You know, we're talking about more than 50,000 installation companies that serve the consumer, that last meter. Where do we stand as a company? Well, quite a prominent set of investors, raised quite a bit of capital. We also have asset-backed financing. So since kind of like 30% of our customers don't really buy the system anymore, but instead we own the system and we manage it for them. That's 20 million, and there's actually, for all of those that can help us there, we are looking for partners to join this consortium of debt financiers. We have a bit more than 15,000 customers, installations out there, which makes us by far the largest player in this segment. Again, it's a very fragmented market, and we have won a couple of awards. So what makes us special, and how do we look at our business? Well, we are at a certain scale now that kind of see that we are able to introduce our own boiler, for instance. We launched that a couple of weeks ago. Very much transformed into a recurring revenue kind of company. More than 80% of our customers have a multi-year contract with us that is either a 10-year leasing contract or a maintenance contract of a couple of years. We are kind of company that has to be good at the range of things. That's why it's really difficult to build it also, the company. For instance, we are the largest lead generator in our segment too. But in the end, it's really about, you know, owning that customer layer. We are a software company too. That slide is quite old. That's our software suites that we're using. So obviously we have a website, but most importantly, we have an algorithm. That was the anchor innovation that we launched years ago. Now it's in its 3rd generation. So we really scaled the ability to sell such complex projects. Then we have a pretty big backend today, which is really about managing all the processes, being able to manage hundreds of small-scale projects per month. And then ultimately, it's all kind of like geared towards our installers that are equipped with an Android tablet with all the data that they need. Just some numbers. kind of in the Q1 19 cohort, we are at like 85–86% of our customers have a multi-year contract with us. So that was something that we focused very much on last year to get there. And then as a consequence of that, our customer lifetime value revenue has been going up, and that of course is good for our margins and good for our profitability. Looking at GM1, we are at the moment at like close to 50% GM1. And that is pre the launch of our private level boiler, which of course helps us on our gross margins. So we feel we can take that company to close to 60% GM1 on the hardware side. Last year, very much a year that we focused on marketing efficiency. So our CAC, including sales costs, so marketing plus sales costs, is at roughly 1,000 euros per customer. Our CLTV per customer is at 3,000 euros at the moment and constantly rising. So we had like a 3x on CAC at the moment. And as a consequence also due to that, those efficiency gains, obviously marketing costs as a share of revenue has been going up significantly. That is kind of like the new kind of like element that we added to our arsenal. We really took the experience of 15,000 installations. Again, nobody did more in those 5 years that we have been in the market, and really asked ourselves and our customers, what is kind of the perfect heating system in the mass class, or mass heating system? And it is the one with the longest warranty, so we got that, that's 15 years. It is the one with the highest energy efficiency, meaning the lowest gas consumption for you. It's the only one, the T1, with an energy efficiency label of A+. It comes with maintenance cycles of only every other year, which we can offer. In the end, that means more mind space for you, less time allocated for you. We can offer because it has, it's just very simple in the way it's built, and it just requires less maintenance. And it's always coming with Thermondo included. I think they presented like a bit earlier here, so finally found together and launched a partnership. And of course, at the lowest price. So we really try to think in our, very much operationally heavy model, how close can we get to like a 10x innovation? Probably we never get to a 10x innovation, but probably, have gotten here to, let's say, a 3x innovation, much better at a much lower price. And due to our maturity that we now have the strength to really focus on rolling out new products, to really delivering on that mission to be that caretaker and having a range of new products. And namely, as we speak, we are launching more boilers, more different boiler types if you want different use cases. A solar thermal model, the S1, which is a renewable piece of energy generation. Our consumer app together with Thermondo will be coming in August. We'll be launching fuel cell heating system as a leasing, so it's fuel cell as a service. So for 220 euros a month, you will be able to produce your own electricity next to your heat. And then ultimately in Q4, we'll be launching standalone gas and power products. So again, moving forward on the ambition to really own as many contracts, or if not all contracts, with you in regards of energy. We're not raising at the moment. We are definitely looking for project finance. So if you want to invest very low risk project finance debt into long-term projects, our default rate is fantastic, close to 0. In the end, it's German homeowners that we lend money to. So I'm very happy to speak. Thank you.